everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Dreamers Tell All Talk Show. And today with me is Pastor Frances Johnson. Welcome.
Thank
She
you.
is an associate pastor of House of Love Ministries here in South Florida under the leadership of Pastor Matt and Maslin Johnson. And she have a talk show, which is Tea Time with Elder, and she also have a ministry called Fly Ministries. So, Pastor Frances, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
I have been in Florida now for 5 years. I am the associate pastor at House of Love Ministries. Let's see what else I can tell you about myself. I'm very outgoing. I love sports, anything to have fun. I do have Fly Ministries. Fly Ministries was created so we can help men and women. It was originally designed for women only, but now we have expanded it for our men as well, our young ladies, our young men, because everyone needs help into restoring and knowing who they are, because sometimes life can pull you down, and it's just to meet the needs of the community, meet the needs of the people, and to show them, whether it's cooking, cleaning, their grooming, taking care of themselves, because after all, self-love is very, very important. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm just glad to be here. So glad that you invited me.
Well, thank you, Pastor Frances. I'm happy that you were able to join us with our Dreamers Tell All Talk show for the month of February. And self-love came to mind when I thought about Love Month. I know Valentine's Day was recently, and a lot of people, they look for love from others. And I was listening to the late Miles Monroe earlier this week, and he said, if you're not able to love yourself, you cannot love others. You first have to be able to love you and everything about you. Because if you are not loving you, you are not qualified to love another person. Absolutely. So today I'm going to have Pastor talk a little bit more about self-love to you. And as you're listening to this broadcast, I hope that it resonates in your spirit, it resonates in your soul, and you will be able to love you and see yourself the way God sees you.
Thank you. So self-love, so many times we get self-love mixed up. Sometimes we don't really know the true definition of self-love. Many of us get caught up in self-love being, I have to get my nails done. I have to take care of my hair. I have to look good. But self-love is being concerned about your own well-being and your happiness. Self-love is when you put yourself first. And self-love is telling yourself you can make it, ingratiating yourself, and not being hard on yourself because you made a mistake, but knowing that you have to set the standard high above for yourself before anyone else. Many, many times we think self-love is taking care of others better than we take care of ourselves, or esteeming others higher. But that's not true, because if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't realize the value you have, if you don't appreciate yourself, nobody else can appreciate you. Self-love starts within. What you think, how you feel about you, what are you saying about yourself? Those are very, very important tips to remember, because many times we may have husbands, we may have wives, we may have friends, and we so many times get lost in them. Just like it's very easy for me to get lost in my grandchild, right? And listen, and forget about my needs. I'm tired and I want to lay down. So self-love is taking care of you first. That means feeding your brain the right thing, eating the right thing. Make sure that you're paying attention to your emotional needs, your intellectual needs, your spiritual needs, your natural needs. All of those play a part in self-love. How do you know, Pastor Fran? Because I've been there. I've been there and done that. I used to esteem so many people higher than me that I didn't even look good to myself You know what I mean? I didn't even feel good about myself. I didn't even look at myself. I paid attention to those that I was caring for and not myself. That is not self-love. When you can take care of you, and when you can invest in your happiness, when you can invest in your health, when you can invest in a healthy environment, healthy connections, healthy relationship, that's what self-love is all about. Saying to yourself, I'm better than anyone else and anything else. Now, I'm not talking about that narcissistic mentality. I'm not talking about I got all this. I'm better than you, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about really loving who you are, who God designed you to be. Because listen, God took out time when he made us. We are fearfully and we're wonderfully made. Marvelous are his works. I know that now, because when you know your true identity, that's when you start self-loving on yourself. You're resting well. You're doing the things that's going to be conducive to where God is trying to take you, what your future look like. So that's a nut in a shell. What self-love is all about: taking care of the mind, the body, the soul, your emotions. And when I say taking care of your emotions, you have to be very, very careful in taking care of your emotions, because when we don't, you know what happens. People play on our emotions. We play on our own emotions. We put ourselves down. We don't believe what we're saying. We don't believe what no one else is saying. And then that opens the door for someone to come in and tear down that very thing that you're trying to build up. Especially if someone says, I don't like the way you look. I don't like what you have on. When you know who you are and you tend to your self-love, and you tend to you and build yourself up, that does not leave a door opener for someone to come in and change what God said about you, and most of all, what you're saying about yourself. So that's what I think self-love is all about. And it's appreciating you for who you are. It's appreciating the falls you made, the bad decisions and then choices. And we have to give ourselves some grace, because we have to be honest. We make bad decisions. We make bad choices. But it does not define where you're going. It's just part of the process. So take care of your heart, take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your emotions. And all of that requires eating right, getting enough rest, and meditating. We have to take out time. I didn't know this until I had a young lady to tell me that, Minister Anita, I got to give her props. You know, plagiarism is big, right? So she said, write down everything. It didn't make sense to me, but I wrote down everything, even carving me some time out for myself, carving some time out for God, carving some time out for my school, carving some time out for church, carving some time out when I got to go to the store. All of that, it builds. And guess what? It makes you feel good when you start doing that self-love. I'm telling you, it makes you feel good. It makes you appreciate yourself, and it builds your self-esteem. That's what I'm talking about, self-love.
That is amazing. Listen, as Pastor was talking, self-love is not being selfish. It's not, because you have to take the time out for you.
Yes.
You have to, make sure you get your emotions right. Like today, I was just trying to set up everything, preparing for Pastor to come over. And I was getting a little frustrated because it was not working right. And I have to be in a place, okay, I'm not able to control this, but I have to be able to control my emotions, because once my emotions get to a place where it's not in alignment to the will for me, my purpose that God has for me, then I'm all over the place. And my thoughts is all over the place. And we have to be strong and to avoid that and see things in a positive way, because and even the things that people talk about us, like Pastor was saying, like someone tell her, you know what, you don't look good, but you look good. Do you have to believe in you? Other people's opinion is none of your concern. So see yourself through the lens The way God see you,
Yes.
love yourself. Just get up in the morning and just look in the mirror and said, you are beautiful. I am
Mm-hmm.
called. I'm graced. I'm called to do great and marvelous things in Christ. I'm called to be the best version of myself because everyone else is taken. And self-love is not looking at other people and comparing yourself, because once you get to a place where you have insecurities and
Mm-hmm.
low self-esteem, then you are not loving yourself. You are loving other people's skin, and you don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what they have to go
Absolutely.
through. You are not equipped
Mm-hmm.
to go through what they've been through.
Absolutely.
So you must be happy and say, God, I'm thankful that you've created an Aphisha Payne.
That's
I'm
right.
grateful that you've created a Pastor Elder Francis Johnson. I'm grateful that you've created me in your image and in your likeness. So,
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Francis, tell me about an experience where you've experienced that you did not feel love, and you've
Mm-hmm.
looked for love in all these different places. You look for it in people, but they failed you.
Absolutely. This is a good topic because I have many examples of this right here, what she just said. So many times. And you know what? It did not start with the people. I love the people. I love what I do. I love taking care of people. I've been a caregiver most of my life. I love that. I have so many examples where I fell in love. And when I fell in love with someone, it didn't work out, and I could see some things changing and things like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, okay, I'm seeing something here. And that's what you got to remember. When you have that self-love, which means you got that, you know your identity, you know who you are, you know what you look like, you know what you're made of. Nobody can change that. And I have so many instances. I had this woman to tell me, this evangelist, to tell me, she said, you know what? You are nothing. You never will be anything, and you never have been. That thing crushed me to my core. And I think I might have been maybe about 26 years old or something like that, if not younger. But that thing tore me down on the inside because I was already trying to build myself up because I didn't feel good about myself. You know, we go through these identity crises when we're in our teenagers, in our 20 years old. And I have a son now and everything. I'm talking about my fat nose, and I don't have the beautiful long hair and thing. But though that thing crushed me so that I did not know and could not see that people were loving me, because those words were resonating not only in my ear, in my frontal lobe. It was resonating in my heart. It became part of my makeup. When I put my clothes on, when I did things, I would always see myself, yeah, you know what? You not where you're supposed to be in life. You know what? You don't even have a car yet. You don't even have a good job yet. You don't have decent clothes. You're still living with your mother and a hope. So all of those things began to weigh on me, and the relationships that I became attached to, because I put them so high up. And after she did that, let me back up a little bit. Even after she said that thing to me and did that to me, that thing crushed me. I started building her up higher and higher. I would bring her things, and you want me to do this? You want me to take you somewhere? And you want me to do that and this? Because guess why? Now I'm trying to get her to see that I'm not what she said. Not me believing it, but I was wanting her to see, because I felt like if I could change her mind about how she's seen me, then that would make me feel good. But I had it all wrong. I had to build myself up to the point that I knew that I was something, and I have always been something, and I will be something in the future. I had to build myself up. And this is what made me be in bad relationships. I haven't had that many relationships, trust me. It was in bad ones. And then when I would think that this person don't love me, or I thought I sing this, or thought I sing that, like you looking at this woman, or you looking at that person and everything. And sometimes things are not as they appear. It's just because we have low self-esteem, because we have allowed somebody to tear down the very thing that God built in us. And you know what that taught me? It wasn't until my 50s that this thing no longer is a part of me. I am somebody. I love myself. And you know what? That's where it started. It started with me loving myself. And my son told me, he said, you prophesy to everybody. You build everybody up. You say everything to everybody. He said, but you can't do that for yourself. He said, I challenge you for 30 days to look in the mirror and you prophesy to yourself for 30 days. That thing was hard because I didn't see myself. I could see other people and see where they're going. He said, how can you minister to other people? How can you tell other people and you don't feel good about yourself? How can you tell anybody about self-love when you don't love who you are? You don't love the way you look. And then one day God said, you know what? He said, you don't think very much about me. And I'm like, hold on, God, wait a minute, pump your brakes. I love you. He said, no, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't talk yourself down. He said, you will speak the very oracles of what I have called you to be. You will say the very things that I say about you. And I said, God, help me to see me like you see me. And God started building that thing up in me. Minister Fisher. Listen, I got that thing right now, y'all. I got that thing right. I don't listen. I very seldom, unless it's my children. How do I look? Is this okay? Or anything like that, because I have self-confidence. When I put it on, that's what I was supposed to put on. When I walk, listen, I change the atmosphere because I'm an atmosphere changer. And then I see what needs to be built up because sometimes we're so tuned in to what's happening to us, what people are doing, that we cannot see the needs to other people. This is why we have to build up ourselves. We have to know who we are. We have to know that foundation and know, listen, God took our time. It might be another Francis out there. It might be somebody that looked familiar, but it is not another Frances Lenora Johnson on this earth. God broke the mold when he made me. And you have got to know that about yourself. And listen, a lot of times we have torn down relationships because of what somebody else did to us, because of what someone else said to us and what they said about us. And we carry that baggage over into our future. Leave the stuff behind and focus on where God is taking you. Build up your self-esteem, build up the love, and love yourself.
Amen.
I know. I told her, don't give me the mic.
As she was talking, two songs came to me. I was like, why is these songs coming to me? It's like, you don't have to like me, I like myself.
Yes, yes.
And this other song is help me to see me the way you see me.
Yes.
See me victorious.
My.
No, God sees you.
Yes.
So let God help you to see you the way he sees you.
Yes. And not what somebody said. And not,
that is true.
Listen, not what somebody said, not what somebody did. That song, help me to see me the way you see me. Truly ask God to help you to see you as he sees you. And listen, my daughter-in-law did a little song with my pictures. What was this? The first song you sang?
You don't have to like
yes, me. I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna find out who that is, and then I'm gonna do a little clipping to that, because you know why? You don't have to love me. I love myself, and when you love yourself, can nobody change that? Can nobody do nothing with that, people? Listen, hear me and hear me well. You don't have to love me. You don't have to like me, because I like myself. And when you build yourself up, you're not worried about what people are saying about you, what they think about you, and you got to walk in the room, you're supposed to turn heads.
I think it's what Gangsta Grills.
Oh, Gangsta Grills. Oh my gosh. Y'all gonna see that on my page, just so you'll know.
So Pastor, just for someone who's listening right now, I want you to encourage them about self-love and the importance of it and self-care. Just encourage someone who will be listening.
So listen, I want you to go back to that little girl or that little boy when your parents were building you up, telling you you look nice, you look beautiful, you look handsome. I want you to go back to that, because our parents are responsible to do that for us up until a certain age, and then we take the baton and we run. I want you to go back and listen. You may not have had a good relationship in the past. You may not had a good relationship growing up. Your parents may not have spoke those positive things in your life. Your grandparents may not, your aunt or your friend, they may not. But today It's a new day. And I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you are beautiful. You are fearless. You love yourself. You appreciate yourself. And guess what? You are going to make it. And can I let you know? Tell yourself you don't need anybody for you to be prosperous. All you need is God. Love yourself. And I promise those that come along will see how much you love yourself, and they are going to want to love you too. So I challenge you today is to speak life to yourself, minister to yourself, minister to that little girl that was abandoned, that little boy that was abandoned, or was raped or were taken apart. I want you to build yourself up, and guess what? Realize you are a survivor here today, and it's a reason and a purpose that you're here, and speak life to your situation. A lot of times we speak death to our own situation, but you are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are lovable, and somebody's going to love you just the way you are, and you are going to love someone just the way they are. Listen, you ain't perfect, but work on that thing. Work on that thing. Speak positive to yourself, positive affirmations. Get a journal and write something good. Put all of the days down. Day number 1, write something good. You cannot repeat that thing. I want you to find something every single day good to tell that you can write about yourself. Get your journal now. Even while I'm talking, get your journal and begin to write. Whatever day you on, you must do it for that next 30 days. It don't matter what day it is. Write something good about yourself and continue. And then next to it, after you write something good about yourself, what you want to accomplish. And every time you accomplish those things, write it off, mark it up. I didn't say to write what you don't have. I didn't say to write if you need money. I want you to write these affirmations. You are beautiful. You are positive. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. God took out time just for you. And listen, you are not that bad relationship you were a part of. You are not a part of that friend that walked out on you. Okay, they left. And listen, it's time to move on. Move on from there. Your past does not determine your future. You got to move on. You are better than where you are. You are better. You are better. You are stronger. You are wiser. And you are going to make it. I promise you are. Love yourself.
Amen. She said something key. Get your journal. No more repeated cycles.
That's right.
You are beautiful. To the man that is listening, to the woman that is listening, you are great. So just begin to speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. Just like David encouraged himself in the Lord. If you got to dance, if you got to worship, lift your hands and encourage yourself.
Absolutely.
Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. I don't know why I'm singing. Like, I just feel like singing tonight.
Amen. Well, go ahead and sing.
But thank you so much, Pastor Francis, for joining us on today.
You are very, very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. And before we go, tell the people how they can connect with you.
Sure.
And how they can reach you.
Sure. You can connect with me. My email, I have 2 email address, Elder Sissy, ELDERSISSY @gmail.com. Or you can connect with me at Fly Ministries Incorporated @yahoo.com. Facebook, Elder Francis Johnson. You know how Facebook is. All you have to do is go in there. You'll see this face, these glasses. You'll know it's me. And listen, I want you to connect with me. And I'm going to connect with you because this is a new year and this is a new season. And now it's time to start, because now it's time to know who you are, know where you're going, and know that you have this thing going for yourself.
Amen. And thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Pastor Francis, for being a part
of
Dreamers
Thank you for having me.
The month of February, where we talked about self-love. I have some things to reevaluate too.
Yes.
You know, it's a process. It doesn't just happen by osmosis. It's a process. You have to continually changing, continually growing in who God has called you to be. So thank you all. And we will see you all for another edition of Dreamers Tell All next month. Thank you, and enjoy this song as we go.